Hello and welcome to another Ninja Review. I'm your host Ninja Jordan, and today we'll be reviewing Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Ah, the Wii U, gone so soon before its time. It really is genuinely upsetting to look back at the fate of the Wii U. Love it or hate it, it was a genuinely unique system, and Nintendo really tried to keep it alive, catering to its fans with a consistent stream of solid first-party support. And while it pains me that the Wii U never got to live up to its full potential, I'm glad to see its awesome library of games finally being enjoyed by a wide audience on a console people actually want to own. Now, Super Mario 3D World finds itself on the Nintendo Switch, and even after 7 years, it's still a conflicting experience. I was never fully sold on Super Mario 3D World when it first released on the Wii U back in 2013. While I thoroughly enjoyed Super Mario 3D Land on the 3DS, so much of what made it work was specific to the smaller, more contained experience that came with the portable console, and I questioned how much that would work when transitioned to a larger, sit-down experience. When I saw the announcement for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury on the Switch, I thought, well, the Switch is better suited to handheld than its predecessor, maybe this could work. But even playing it a second time on a console better suited to its ideas, I just can't really get into it. Honestly, I've always felt that Super Mario 3D World was the most forgettable of the Super Mario franchise. That's not to say it's a terrible game, because it really isn't, but I've always felt that it lacks that wow factor that so many other Mario games have. While the inclusion of Luigi, Peach, and Toad all being playable and featuring the same abilities that they did in Super Mario 2 is an excellent callback to the NES classic, its second innovation, the Cat Suit power-up, always felt more like a minor expansion of the Tanuki suit than a genuine power-up in its own right. Furthermore, Super Mario 3D World has always felt to me like one of the more toothless games in the Super Mario franchise. So many of the levels in Super Mario 3D World feel lacking in any real challenge, and you can burn through them pretty quickly. Although, I'm willing to look past this, as it definitely suits the portability of a console like the Switch, where you can easily clear a level or two during a bus ride or a lunch break. However, I maintain that the Bowser battles in 3D World are some of the most pathetic ones in the franchise, as he stands on a slowly moving car, gently rolling soccer ball bombs for you to kick into him. Portability or not, these are a joke. But I think my biggest issue with Super Mario 3D World is just how wonky the controls feel. That isn't to say that they're completely bad, but after playing Super Mario Odyssey on the Switch, with its tight-as-a-drum controls, going back to Super Mario 3D World feels like a genuine step backwards. Movement feels slippery and sometimes imprecise, particularly when running, and jumping feels incredibly floaty and unpredictable. What's more is that the game's run mechanic can alter the momentum of jumps once you boost into full speed, further adding to the unpredictable positioning of jumps. These issues are made worse by the game's limited camera control and the semi-isometric 2.5D levels, which never really give you a great sense of your position in 3D space, something that the 3DS's trademark feature went a long way to cover for. This usually results in several misplaced jumps that can range from frustrating, like when you're trying to hit blocks, or downright deadly. It's really hard to imagine that platforming in a Mario game could be both frustrating and underwhelming, but every time I play Super Mario 3D World, those are the feelings I'm left with. Being a Switch re-release, Super Mario 3D World does include one major addition, the inclusion of the Bowser's Fury game mode. In this mode, Mario finds himself in a strange cat-themed land that has been covered with black paint. Upon his arrival, he finds Bowser Jr., who explains to him that Bowser has been covered with the paint and transformed into a gargantuan version of himself devoid of any control. Together, the two must work to collect cat shines that not only power various lighthouses that can clear the paint from the land, but can also release the power of the Giga Bell, allowing Mario to transform into a giant Super Saiyan Cat Mario, giving him the power to defeat Bowser. As it was shown in the January 12, 2021 gameplay trailer, Bowser's Fury plays more like Super Mario Odyssey than Super Mario 3D World, and while, like the main game, it's a mostly fun experience, even this is not without some issues. For starters, whereas Super Mario Odyssey had worlds ranging in size but having a lot to see and do, Bowser's Fury has a small collection of islands that feel more like 3D World levels than fully realized worlds. There's not a lot of room for exploration, and while each area has 5 cat shines to collect, they only really have one main obstacle course and the same repeated objectives. From a small battle with some enemies, to collecting 5 mini shines, to collecting a sequence of blue coins, each area plays out mostly the same and only really has one genuine idea. However, mixing up the gameplay somewhat is Fury Bowser himself, who sits in the middle of the world and slowly begins to stir as you run around collecting cat shines. Once he awakens, he terrorizes the map, sending fireballs and giant spikes that can act as platforms onto the board. The first few times this happens, it can be pretty exhilarating, however, it starts to lose some of its edge after a while, and Fury Bowser becomes more of a nuisance than a genuine threat. This is compounded by the fact that if you die or enter a bonus stage during Fury Bowser's rampage, it'll end the sequence altogether and you can continue collecting cat shines unhindered. Furthermore, the aforementioned control issues find their way into Bowser's Fury and create a bit of a disparity. It looks like you're playing Super Mario Odyssey, but it feels like you're playing Super Mario 3D World, and the two styles don't really gel. The more nuanced, fine-tuned controls of Odyssey are sorely missed, and the lack of a small thing like being able to grab ledges can make some of the more open-form platforming a bit frustrating. Thankfully, the game makes up for it with the Fury Bowser boss battles, which are actually pretty cool. When you first become the Super Saiyan Cat Mario and the intense operatic music begins to swell, you know this fight is going to be epic. Unlike the main game, Bowser's Fury does a great job of making Bowser a challenge during these battles. There's only one real opening to deal significant damage against him, and Bowser mixes up his attacks with every fight, adding a lot of dynamism to each battle. If I have one complaint with the Fury Bowser battles, it's how Mario still plays by old school rules, and one hit will knock him out of the catsuit and remove all grandeur from the fight as he lumbers around like a gargantuan goober. While you can still attack Fury Bowser by jumping on him at the opportune moment, if you wish to return to your Super Saiyan form, you'll have to wait for the various Gigabells dotted around the map to become active again. Also, having to hold down the Y button to run makes it tricky to control the camera during some of Bowser's faster attacks, which can result in taking some frustrating hits. It just feels like this strange collection of ideas that never really coalesce, like it wants to be a course-clear Mario trapped in the body of a sandbox exploration Mario. I can't help but feel like maybe if Bowser's Fury was built like Super Mario 3D World and had a collection of actual levels, maybe some that were normal, and some where Fury Bowser was in the background the whole time creating obstacles and threats, which culminated in the various 3D Fury Bowser boss battles, that it might have felt like a more put-together experience. Also, and this might just be me, but I think there was a bit of a missed opportunity with Bowser Jr. He's a fine little addition if you're playing two-player, but if you're playing solo, he'll help you out here and there, but you can only really send him to key points by using the touchscreen or with motion controls if you're playing with a controller. I just would have loved to actually control him, maybe if the game set up some little puzzles or obstacles where you had to switch between Mario and Bowser Jr. to get past them. I feel like this review is coming off extremely negative, and I honestly wish it wasn't, because I really don't think Super Mario 3D World or Bowser's Fury are bad games. Like I said, they're both fun for the most part, and they look beautiful, something I thought about the Wii U version as well, with bright, colorful levels that render beautifully in HD on the dock and still look great in handheld. Furthermore, Super Mario 3D World might have the best soundtrack of any Mario game, with each track being upbeat and fun, utilizing what sounds like a live band, and adding a lot to the game. And the songs they added in Bowser's Fury are equally as excellent. I don't think Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury annoys me as much as it did on the Wii U, since the Switch already has the best Mario game ever made on it, and I do think there is fun to be had with these games, even though I find them to be fairly frustrating. I would still recommend them if you enjoy the original or maybe wanted to play them with some younger gamers. Despite everything, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury gets 3.5 Ninja Stars out of 5, and even though I have my gripes with it, it still gets the official Ninja seal of approval. Well, thanks for watching another Ninja review. If you like this video, let me know by hitting the like button, and definitely let me know what you're thinking in the comments. I know a lot of you came here for my 3D World preview video, and I really hope you stick around despite how hard I came down on the game. If you're new here and you want to see more videos by an actual ninja, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the little bell icon to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. But for another Ninja review, this has been your Ninja Jordan. Goodbye.